starting with a simple clip. This is our O-line running Buford in flow. So they didn't talk this out. This wasn't like called on the line. This is just something that they did in flow, and it's a nice execution of an in-flow Buford with everybody getting on the same page. So Levi's going to give Gabriel Yacht here in a round cut, and Gabe's going to hit him with a very nice around throw. Jack's going to recognize the whole situation. So Jack's going to first set up his cut. He's going to set up his cut backward, and then he's going to make this upline move. And then from way off screen here, we're going to get Max coming in. And that gives Levi just an easy hit, continue to Max. So this is Buford, right? Buford is when one of the handlers runs upline, and then we have somebody from downfield enter the space that handler just left, and we just ran that Buford in flow. And so that's a really good way to switch the disc from one side to the other with very little resistance from the defense. And I think our D-line could probably start using this more. And I think our D-line should automatically Buford every time there is a swing. And I think that's just a really simple way to keep the disc moving and to open up the field. This clip starts with what I think is the power of starting an offense with a break throw. So as I look at this Texas defender come down on Jack, it sure looks like he's flat on Jack. He doesn't want to like give up an immediate huck. But based on the way his feet are, that's his left foot, that's his right foot, it's clear that this guy would prefer for Jack to get into a backhand throw to the Levi side of this field. But Jack just beats the mark. Jack beats the mark with a very good throw and gets it to Gabriel Yacht. And I think this is the frame that like really illuminates the power of starting with a break throw, because now look in the middle of the field and there's just nobody. So this is a completely empty space. And as we look at Austin Jin, okay, he's going to be able to step in, and he's either, he could slash, or he could just drop in here, or maybe he could even get on his defender's back. So Austin's going to have like a lot of opportunities as he steps into the middle of the field. And as D-liners watching this video, I am really hopeful that a lot of you are just taking a moment to think to yourself, how often did we have a guy touch the disc with a completely empty middle of the field? And I think that's like a really quick way for us to get better as an offense on D-line is like, let's all just be aware of how many people are attacking the middle. If somebody was already attacking it, do I need to be that second person attacking it? If two people are already attacking it, do I really need to be the third person that's trying to run in there? A lot of times we had three people all trying to run in there at the same time. So as Austin comes through, he's going to make a vertical move in the middle of the field, which we have practiced. We've done some defense drills. But I think like the textbook idea for our offense would be for Austin to slash here. The reason Austin is not slashing is because he's too deep. So I don't know that Austin needs to be as deep as he is. He could be almost at Joe's level, and then Joe could be where Levi is, and Levi could be even shallower. So if Austin was down here, you could see some kind of like quick push up and slash, and I would expect Gabriel Yacht to hit a slash that's this long all day long. Longer slashes are easier to throw to, so this would have been like a 20-yard slash, and Gabe definitely would have gotten that in there. But often Austin's drifted a little deep, so he's going to go. You're going to see him attack his defender's back right here. He's going to kind of put his right foot in the ground, take a jab step at the defender's back. That creates a lot of separation, and this is just a nice, easy layup. Notice how Gabriel Yacht throws this flat and early. Look at how that's in front of Austin. So that's just a really easy play to get our offense going, and now we're in a really good spot. This is the same point as the previous clip. This is the end of it, end zone set. So as I go through this one, I think this ties into a theme that I talked about a lot in the fall with like many GIFs and several videos. But as we watch Walters make this move, and then we're going to see Joe make his move, and then Gabriel Yacht make his move, Texas is defending 5-on-4 in this space. They have brought extra defenders to try to guard the cone. Right here, they are 5v4, and that would mean mathematically that we have to have a numbers advantage, which we do, 3v2 on this side. So as soon as all of this starts happening for Austin Jin, his read has to be to this space where he has the numbers advantage. And that's exactly what he does. So he's able to just slide this backhand inside break right in there to Jacob. Boom. So this is, I think I sent GIFs called, look at the diagonal. I think I talked about it in some videos. What are Austin's options, right? He could just kind of stare this way, or he could, he could try to throw a swing, which actually would have been worked out really fine. Levi would have just gotten it. But often there's a soft spot in the defense right along the diagonal, right through the mark and right behind the mark, which is where Jacob is. And Jacob's doing a good job of sitting in space here. I think when I watched some of our D-line reps on end zone set, this guy feels the need to run over here and all of a sudden he's not there. Or maybe he feels like he's got to just go start running somewhere. But instead, Jacob just sits and he just says, okay, Austin, here's my hands. Look at how Jacob shows him his hands. Look at how Jacob drops his hips. It's like he's a baseball player waiting for a pitch. And Austin just gets it right in there. And I think this is a great example of how to exploit a very overreactive and helpy and switchy end zone defense, which we saw a lot of this weekend. I like this clip for a couple of reasons. First of all, we get just another example of Jack starting our offense with a break. It's really, really powerful. If the person picking up the disc can just break the mark to start our offense, that creates space for us and it makes everyone's jobs easier. And then I really like the progression that Gabriel Yacht goes through here. So our basic read is to get two guys on top of the disc, which we have. We have Jacob and Austin. They're pretty deep here. We might have had a better opportunity to actually throw this huck if we weren't so deep. But what are we giving Gabe? We're giving him a pretty basic. Jacob's making an outcut this way, and then Austin Jin is coming in this way. So these two defenders down here, they have to make a decision. Are we playing 1v1 and sticking with our guys, or are we helping? And they decide to both go help on Jacob. So as Gabe reads the defense, he sees two guys go deep on Jacob. He's got to be thinking Austin Jin. But here's the twist, is that he also needs to be aware of there can always be help from the handler space. And this is a pretty common jump right here. A few of us actually threw into it over the course of the weekend. So this handler person coming across. So what does Gabe have to do? All he has to do is work his way from right to left, right? So first you're reading, is Jacob 1v1 or 2v1? If Jacob is double covered, I'm looking for the check down. If the check down is getting jumped by a handler, I just got to keep going from right to left and I got to find Bobby over here, which is exactly what happens. So here we can see Jacob going. We can see defenders going with Jacob. We see Austin completely unmarked coming under. Austin's getting jumped by a handler poach. We can even see Gabriel Yacht, he even hesitates. You can see that he's reading this. Boom, there he is. Okay, keep going towards the left. Find Bobby for the wide open layup. So that's a really good example of just Gabe making 1, 2, 3 reads all really quickly and all really decisively. Okay, so Texas has changed their offensive set or their defensive set here. So why have they changed it? Because they're getting tired of Jack starting the offense by breaking the mark. So in the past, they would have one guy come down, and this guy would be flat. So his job was to stop hucks, but it was also to stop the break throw. And so Jack was just beating them pretty good with his break throws, getting our offense started. And so Texas has said, forget about it. Let's change it up. Let's try something new. So now this guy, they're going to they're double teaming Jack. So this guy's going to worry about the huck, and this guy's going to just focus in on the breaks and try to not let us get started with a break throw. So we have to do some problem solving. We have to figure out, okay, how do we want to solve a sag, and we have an unguarded handler, and we have a mark on our thrower. And I think this is the correct way to do it. So Jack manages things really well. He looks to Bobby, then he looks back downfield. That gets his huck stopper has to respect all of Jack's looks downfield. Looking downfield again allows Jack to just hit Bobby really easy. Notice how flat this throw is from Jack. Notice the release point. When you look at Jack's shoulder, elbow, wrist, it's really, really good throw. Release point is right in there. And then this continue from Bobby to Gabe is critical, right? If Bobby looks this off, we are in a bad spot. We need Bobby to get this to Gabe. And there, now we have punished the sag really, really well. And we are pretty close to setting up our end zone set. We just need like 1 or 2 more throws. So this is a great example of like, oh, what do we do against a sag? Where should we go? How should we attack? We just need Bobby to step up. Look at how Bobby just like sits, squares his hips up, says, Jack, look, I'm wide open. I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you, boy. Boom. And then Bobby right there, flat into Gabe. We get a similar sag on this one, and we got to deal with it. Well, we end up dealing with it in a different way. So here we go. We got Jack with his mark on. This guy's trying to help the mark with the huck, but they also have 15 over here. So this is more of that like true V formation, double sag on both sides. The previous clip, I think we only saw one sagger. And we were trying to address the sag problem by having both of our handlers over here on the left. So we got a goblet left of Jack. And Levi's just wide open for anything whenever Jack needs it. So Jack decides to take it. And I think as we look at this, it's really the reason we succeed here is because the field is so empty. Look at all of this empty space. And as D-liners, let's just like take a moment to think about like how many guys would we currently have in this space? Would we have a person here, here, and here? And like, let's just notice that in this clip, all of this space is completely empty. And sometimes it's okay. Often it's okay for spaces to be empty because it allows Joe to just get a really easy touch. Nice throw here from Levi. Easy touch for Joe. And so now I think what I really like about this is that we are going to start putting together our break side cutting tree. So as Joe gets this touch, you can see Jacob give a nice little slash. Joe gets a flat throw out in front of him. Notice how this ball is in front of Jacob. Jacob catches it with 2 hands in front of his chest. Notice how flat this thing comes out from McGurgan here. And now we're going to watch Gabriel Yacht. He's going to continue with yet another slash. He sets his guy up, kind of takes that jab step towards his back, and then Jacob just throws a really easy around break throw. So that's a really good break side cutting tree. We go from basically a check down, right? We had a play. We didn't get our initiating play. We threw a swing. We get to Joe, and then we break side cutting tree, and we're basically ready to get into our end zone set after another throw from this. And so that's a really good example of creating space and letting other people have space and actually getting into the break side cutting tree and just hitting slashes at a really high level.